everybody. I am Hoarder Gamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. I want to thank everyone very much who will check this out either live or not live, like on demand or whatever you call that on YouTube. I'd also very much like to thank the Doom Squad Gaming channel for letting me take this half hour, 45 minutes, hour, whatever it becomes, this amount of time in order to talk to you about comics, TV, a little bit about games, and toys. We'll toy around a bit as well. Anyway, we're going to start with a review today, and our first review is a very surprising book. Like, at first, I'll start this. At first, when I read the book, I was disappointed. I felt it was marketed as a unique take on a superhero book. That's not what Public Domain #1 is. It's a heartfelt look at the comic book and Hollywood industry and how it treats writers and artists, such as Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. And as that, it's awesome. It's really good. It's emotional. It's a story of two brothers and their father. Their father is one of the co-creators of a comic book character that has a name similar to Public Domain. And basically, it's how Hollywood has treated them. It's how the comic book company has treated them. And it's very well done. Who cares? It's good to see you, Doctor Who. How you doing? How are you doing? But yeah, it's this heartfelt story, and there's the two brothers are connecting, and you just get this vibrant feeling of, the love of creation and writing and comics in this book, and in the main character's father. And he's not bitter about the way the artist treated him, actually the writer treated him, or the way the studio system and everything has treated him. It's also similar to like what happened with Stan Lee. In the 1990s, Marvel just wasn't as awesome to Stan Lee as they are now. And I believe there was court cases and all sorts of things. But yeah, one of the reasons he's in all the Marvel movies is it's a bit of a mea culpa to him. Dearly departed Stan Lee. One of the most amazing people in comics. But yeah, I like it. I like Public Domain. Part of me would rather wait for the trade, though. It's a personal story, so it doesn't have the big massive revelations that you're expecting in like a superhero book. And if you thought it was going to be a unique take on a superhero book, then I can see you would be disappointed. Initially, that's how I felt, but then looking at what I read and looking at all the emotions it conveyed and everything, I quite like it. So I do like Public Domain. But yeah, I'm not exactly certain that I would get it every month. I think it's a 6-issue series. I'm not sure. I believe it is a miniseries, though. But it's good. It's good. And Chip Zdarsky, will be getting back to him later in the evening, has a pretty amazingly huge book coming out next week. It's going to be one of my definite suggestions for picking up next week. And some people will be shocked that, what book it is, but I'm looking forward to talking about that later. So yeah, Public Domain is good, but don't go expecting a superhero story. Expect a story of the creators of superheroes and the way they were treated and mistreated. We're trying a different format this time, everybody. We're actually going to start with comic books, and then we're going to move to toys, and then kind of go through everything in this specific way. And then at the end, I'll ask questions on everything. So we're going to see how that goes. So next up, we have our second comic book review of the night. as comic book reviews, this will actually be the final comic book review for tonight. So two. Awesome book. Awesome. In the first issue of the new She-Hulk, Rainbow Rowell introduced the Fight Club. And the idea was that Titania and Jen would basically blow off steam in a fight club of superheroes. And that came to fruition in this issue. It's only like 3 or 4 pages, but it's really funny. And there's great moments with Volcana and Titania. And even Ben Grimm sees the tussle going on, also known as The Thing. And he actually goes to investigate and finds out that, no, it's not an actual brawl. It's just a fight club for fun. And it's a really funny sequence with Jen and Ben Grimm. Hey, Doom, how you doing? But yeah, there's that. There's the awesome relationship between Jen and a Jack of Hearts, trying to understand why he doesn't have his abilities and why it's so difficult to do use his abilities. And there's an amazing scene, where all these superheroes show up at Jen's place of work to be her client in law cases. And this great pick has Nightcrawler, Spider-Woman, Reed Richards, try to think, Moon Knight. It's amazing. Falcon, who's technically Captain America now. But it's awesome. It's like some of the biggest heavy hitters in Marvel Comics in this, like, in 2 or 3 panels, like once in a waiting room, and then she sees them and she kind of freaks out because her boss doesn't want her doing constant cases for superheroes anymore. So she says, everyone, into my office now. And it's this amazing scene of all these superheroes crowded into this really small office, like shoulder to shoulder, so much so that Mr. Fantastic only has his head and his neck in the room from the other room. Really good. It was really good. And the sense of humor in this book is awesome. The writing is great. It's some of the best characterization I've seen for Jennifer Walters. So one of the reasons I reviewed this too, there's this weird thing that happened, and I don't know exactly why, but it was like 2 or 3 months between issue 3 and issue 4 right here. So I was like, yeah, I definitely want to review the new issue of She-Hulk. And that is the cover I got. Isn't that awesome? All these different takes of She-Hulk throughout the years. Super jacked, super tall, not quite as jacked. She-Hulk. That's like I'm doing an ad. Sentinel, how you doing? Good to see ya. It is good to see you, Sentinel. But yeah, this is, to me, a must-have book. She-Hulk is one of the best books I've read this year. Issue 5, I believe, ends the first story arc, but it's an ongoing series, so they'll start another, I think, story arc in issue 6, unless something changed there, but... yeah, it's excellent. It's an excellent book. Now, everybody, I think we should toy around a bit. I think we should take a look at some toys that are coming out. And we'll see how this all works out, the way I set this up. Okay, first up. Simpsons Ultimates figures. Look at these freaking accessories. Look at this. Look at this insanity. 3 heads. 3 heads. You could almost do animation. Stop motion animation if you had like another 3 or 4 of the heads in different poses. The dollar bill. The 3-eyed fish. The 3-eyed fish that gets served to him, and then he has to like take a bite of it to prove there's nothing wrong with the power plant basically polluting Springfield. That's like from a specific episode right there. That is amazing. Bobo, Burns's teddy bear from when he was a little kid. Okay? The Burns, I think it says, It's My Life, It's Too Late. It's Too Late. That's from a specific issue as well. So the Ultimate figures are known for having completely insane accessories. They're expensive though. These figures are $55 a piece, as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures were, and just about everything in the line. They also do an amazing Kodos and Kang that I unfortunately do not have pictures of. I can only hold so many pictures and set up so many things for an episode, so I'm sorry. But you should definitely look online and check out the Ultimates Kodos and Kang, because they actually have the cookbook, How to Cook for 40 Humans. I kid you not. Multiple tentacles, one that has like the chef plate with the dome on the top that you can take off. Kang comes with the alien version of Maggie Simpson with the little buck tooth and the tentacles. These are awesome. Like the accessories these things come with. Although Kodos and Kang, I don't know why, but they're $70 a piece. I'm not sure why. I feel it's because they do have those plastic domes and they might be taller figures. It's hard to say based on the pictures I've seen. That would make more sense. Because all of them have a lot of accessories. That I can't think that's the reason. But if you like this one, and you know that I didn't have room for Kodos and Kang, that probably means that I found one that I had to put in, that you have to see, especially for the damn accessories. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Ralph Wiggum. Ralph Wiggum. So there's Ralph right there, right? Again, from a specific episode, Ralph with an ice cream cone on his head. Here we go. The Valentine, I choose you, from that heartbreaking episode of The Simpsons that I want to say was like 3rd or 4th season. It was early in. Ralph's computer, where even though he's in the, 2nd or 3rd grade, he's typing cat. Paste. He comes with a container of paste and an extra hand so he can make it look like he's going to eat the paste. Banana. A banana in another hand, and this insane sign, this sad sign that he has to wear around his neck, also from the specific episode. Warning, do not hug. Yeah, these figures are awesome, but yes, they do seem a little bit pricey at $55. But man, those accessories, those even destroy the Playmates accessories when they were doing Simpsons action figures. They do. Well, right now, in all honesty, the toy market is for adults. You might think I'm crazy saying that. Well, when I show you this and tell you the price, you'll know I'm not crazy. Get ready, everybody. You're probably all looking at this thinking that's a 3 3/4 inch figure. This is just a Cobra Hiss, one of the coolest vehicles from G.I. Joe. One of my favorites. You would be a bit incorrect in your assumption. That is a 6-inch action figure. Okay? And this vehicle is to scale with a 6-inch series of G.I. Joe classifieds. That is a ladder that retracts so the character can actually go and climb into the vehicle. The treads actually work. Okay? The thing is gigantic. So the regular Hiss is roughly about, I'd say, this big, if I recall, and about like that tall. So this thing has to be like this, okay? And probably like this tall. This thing is huge. This thing has a huge price as well. This is $300. I'll give you a moment to see if, something went wrong with the audio. if I said, you know, you probably are like, wait, what happened? There's something wrong with the video, the audio. He didn't say it's $300. It's $300. This is from Hasbro Pulse, $299.99. And basically they were looking to get, I think it was 8,000 of these pre-orders, and then they'll make it. They got that in 8 or 9 hours today. In 8 or 9 hours today, they fully funded, which is something that hasn't happened with a number of their toys, including a number of Star Wars toys. So, like, I'm kind of blown away. I'm blown away. I think this is super cool. I feel that it's expensive for what it is, but I like it. I mean, it's awesome looking. Okay. Also, that figure for G.I. Joe Classified, the only way you're going to get him. So for collectors, that has to be a difficult thing. Look at this. Another picture of the Hiss. LED lights on the inside of the vehicle. See, that might be where it gets expensive and insane. Okay, LED lights on the inside of the vehicle, and then this thing that projects the Cobra symbol out of the front of the vehicle. Like, I think this thing is awesome, but my God. $300. That is amazing, though. Look at that. I mean, I know that may not be exactly what it looks like, but that's trying to give you the idea of what it's going to look like on the inside of it with the LEDs. There are LEDs inside the screen here. There's a whole listing of pictures on Hasbro Pulse. Okay, so it's not easy for me to have like 30 or 40 pictures here. So when it comes to the toys, I try to get maybe about 3 or 4 total. 5 it was this week. But yeah, look at this. The Baroness is awesome. And here, to give you an idea, the 6-inch scale Baroness came with this awesome bike that was molded in red and black. That was $44. And that was to 6-inch scale for her. Now, that's my issue here. I know this has LEDs. I know it's big. But even if you're looking at that amount of money, with the figure that was $44, this is $300. The figures themselves sell for $20 to $25, okay? So you're still looking at this being $280 to $275, this vehicle. It just seems to be too much. Now, because they actually met their quota, they're going to add extra things to the vehicle if you pre-order by July 6th. So I'd be remiss not to tell you that if you're interested in getting this. Don't get me wrong, it's super cool. I just think it's a bit much for what it is. Maybe if they do a more in-depth video at Hasbro, then be like, okay, I can see why it's this much, you know? But yeah, that Cobra symbol thing, that's pretty amazing. That it actually does that is pretty wild. Like, I don't know how many LEDs it has. Maybe it has just a truly ridiculous amount of them. And here, it opens up. Oh, sorry about that. Oh my God, I'm moving myself. What am I doing? What am I doing, everybody? Okay. Look at this. This giant opening here, and figures can go inside of it. So they really thought about, like, details. I'm not going to say they didn't. I just think that price is a little bit too much. But I think it's cool. I'm not saying it's not cool. Yeah, Sentinel. And you know what's really painful? I don't know if you know this, but packaging no longer has, like, the bubbles anymore. Because of, like, the plastic. Now it's all cardboard. The entire packaging is cardboard. Or, you know, thick paper. Not really cardboard. And that's how they're doing, like, the Marvel figures. That's probably how this will be packed and everything. So, like, you won't even know exactly how your paint job was. You won't even know exactly how it looks until you do open it. But yes, I very much like this thing. I think this is really cool. And I wanted to show everybody this insane cool thing. Okay. Now, we are going to look at comic books. that come out not tomorrow, not the day after, not the day after that, but all the way, as I look into my crystal ball, all the way in the future, all the way to 1 week from today. First up, everybody, Poison Ivy has her own ongoing monthly series by one of the best comic book writers, G. Willow Wilson. That name might ring a bell. She was one of the best writers for Ms.Marvel. Poison Ivy 1 was considered one of the best comics to come out last month. And, like, reviews were through the roof for it. I considered amazing. So I would be, again, remiss. I like to use the word remiss constantly, apparently. I would be remiss not to say, check this out. Check this out. She's not the same fun-loving eco-terrorist that you're used to. But yeah, this book is supposed to be one of the best currently. I apologize. There's sometimes I don't get to books immediately. I have issue 1, and I'll be reading that very soon, but I haven't read it yet. So I cannot speak to it. This is not an actual review, but I can tell you a number of people have said this book is phenomenal. So I want you to know about it too. Poison Ivy, and number 2 comes out next week. And look at that. You don't even have a difficulty getting, caught up. There's 1 issue ahead of this one. Just one. Just one single issue, like $3.99, and you're caught up before this one comes out. Next up. This could be insane. Starhenge, issue 1, releasing from Image Comics. I've heard people say that this is a mix between, like, Star Wars and Game of Thrones. And it's got a wild subtitle which would make you think that. So imagine my surprise when I see one of the actual ads for it. Compare it to this: The Terminator meets the Green Knight. If any of you have seen Terminator, I'm guessing most of you have. It's amazing, as is Terminator 2. And I'm guessing quite a few of you have seen Green Knight. Sadly, I have not yet. I do know what it's about, though. And just that info right there, I can't even wrap my head around what Terminator meets the Green Knight is like. I can't. Plus, there's this insane push for this book. Like, they believe so much in this book that at Image Comics, they're doing 8 covers for it. I'll repeat that again. At Image Comics, they're doing 8 covers for it. Now, Marvel and DC, they'll do that for huge books. 6 covers, 5 covers, maybe even 8 or 10. Image usually does not. They'll usually have a variant, maybe 2 variants, not 8. So this is a huge book with a massive push behind it, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a insane science fiction experience, and I've been really happy doing this show recently because I've been finding a lot of awesome horror comic books. But now we have another really awesome science fiction book. Exo Man of War was a sci-fi book I was really enjoying for a long time. And then different writers took over, and I lost track, unfortunately. But that was wild because it didn't hold your hand, and it was very an intense book. It wasn't trying to be showy. It was trying to just be hard science fiction. It was more like Conan than it was a superhero book in the most recent versions. Everybody, now get ready for this one. Get ready. Well, who is this? Who is this gentleman? It's Batman. Batman number 125. Chip Zdarsky is taking the reins as writer of Batman next week. This is one of the biggest events in comics in July. Okay? Chip does Daredevil, I believe, Amazing Spider-Man, I believe, for a while, and a ton of books, including the first book we reviewed, Public Domain. I'm very excited to see what he does with The Dark Knight after seeing what he does with Daredevil. So this should be really cool. Really cool. And Jimenez is one of the best artists out there right now. So you have a stellar book here. Like, this is phenomenal. And I definitely highly recommend this next week. Pretty much all these books I show here are highly recommended, but this one I'm just almost I'm nearly dying for to see what he does. You know, I've enjoyed Tom King's run. I enjoyed James Tynion IV's My Good Man, because when you say James Tynion's name, you need to have the My Good Man after you say the fourth part. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. But yes, that is something I'm really looking forward to. In case you don't know, I kind of like Batman. I'm kind of a fan. And if you're a Bat fan like I am, then you would also look forward to, also in July, Detective Comics, the Gothic opera being written by Ram V, the writer of Venom and Carnage, two separate books, as well as Aquaman Andromeda, is writing Detective Comics and doing a Gothic opera. I have no idea what to expect from that other than awesomeness. I don't expect this to be... Batman's going to be awesome, right? I truly believe that. But a Gothic opera of Batman, Detective Comics, I have no idea what that's going to be like. I don't know if there's actually going to be a libretto, lyrics and stuff, and I have no idea. But I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to its ambition. But yeah, Starhenge 1, Batman 125, and Poison Ivy 2. Those would be the three really big books I would look at for next week. Those are the ones I would recommend. Well, everybody, we reviewed a couple comics. We toyed around. We even looked all the way into the future. 7 days from today. Now, we're going to talk a little TV. We're going to talk about last week's episode of Ms.Marvel. Did everyone see Ms.Marvel last week? I thought it was a fantastic episode. I don't understand the hate or animosity towards this show. I think it's really good. And like I said before, I think Iman Vellani is phenomenal as a character. Great casting. Excellent casting. And last week's episode, we found out that the new Too Good to Be True friends of Kamala aren't really so friendly. And they're kind of monstrous and scary. And her brother gets married finally. And the reception is memorable as Kamala's new friends show up to kill her or attempt to kill her actually, because she won't help them in their crazy mad quest, which could destroy the world. So yeah, that was pretty wild. I felt they were too good to be true. Like, as a writer, I looked at that scene and it was like, oh, they're just so friendly and they're so nice, all of them. And I just got the vibe that I don't know if that's really what they're going to be like. And yeah. I also agree with the rumor going on, or like the hypothesis that it's all Kree, technically. That there was no word for Jin, and the reason they're blue when they find one of the bodies is it's going to go back to the Kree, and that the bracelet is Kree technology. I actually agree with that theory. I think that's very feasible for where they're going. It was wild, though, that they decided to go with the clandestine instead of the Inhumans. That was a huge surprise to me. And I'm wondering if that's because of honestly, the shellacking that Inhumans, the TV series, took. You know, that was not a beloved show by any stretch of the imagination. Like, they had to constantly cut economic corners. Medusa lost her hair in the first episode. Most of it was shot on the same island Lost was shot on because of cost. Very little of it was on the moon. So I feel that almost created shockwaves. And they were like, we're not even going to get into Inhumans in the MCU. That's my feeling right now. They could change their mind. They could surprise me. But Clandestine is another Marvel comic series. So once they dropped that name, I was like, well, that's interesting. So, did everyone else see it? Did everyone else enjoy it? What did everyone else think? I also feel bad for Bruno. Bruno totally has a thing for Kamala, but Kamala's stuck on the bad boy. She's stuck on the bad boy. It's actually technically a good boy, because his mother's a raving sociopath, it seems. Also, Damage Control is a new recent Marvel comic that's going to be coming out soon. So that name was used too. That's what I guess the group is called that is trying to contain all this information and everything. And they were the ones, I guess, who were interviewing Bruno. They're also not quite what I would call good guys. Hopefully we get some Inhumans. Honestly, I read the comic, was good. Well, the comic is good. Like, in the comic book, Inhumans is good. They just completely screwed it up in the TV show. Like, if I understand that you can do great art when you're limited by budget, okay? Totally. That's not what Inhumans was. Inhumans, they should have found some way to budget it higher. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with Inhumans. Like I said, most of it was shot in Hawaii, where they shot Lost. I don't know. Haven't watched the last 2 episodes and need to catch up. Oh, of Kamala? Yeah, I hold back a week on the episode reviews just because I want to make sure people have a decent chance of catching up. To me, reviewing an episode that happened less than 24 hours from this show doesn't work well. I'm not big on that. So I do a week. They added Black Bolt, so confused with Kamala change. Oh, Black Bolt What was I gonna say about Black Bolt? There's a really cool Inhumans comic book by Donny Cates. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was really cool, and it's in trade. It was only, I think, 6 issues, but I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought that was a cool Inhumans story. Anyone else have any questions or thoughts on Ms. Marvel? If not, then I'm going to talk about another TV show, Obi Wan Kenobi. As a longtime Star Wars fan, and if you don't know this, I'm Twitch elderly. I'm 45 years old. So I've seen a lot of the Star Wars, everything you could think of, movies, comics, all that. When the comic book with the rabbit, that Spider-Man comic, I read that when the first issues came out. I had the books on tape. That's one of the ways I was taught to read when I was a kid. It was like a book with a tape, and it was like either a story from the movies or it was like a side story. Anyway, I loved Obi Wan Kenobi. I thought it was fantastic. I thought Vader was scary. They actually made Vader scary. And the scenes between Obi-Wan and Vader were awesome. Awesome. And he's such a dirty fighter, too. Like, picking up, like, stone spires out of the ground. And, like, basically using the Force and causing, like, a bit of a cave-in of the ground and stuff. Like, just monstrous and cruel. And I also like the fact that he understood what the... was it his third sister? Is that the name? Was actually up to. That was good. Yeah, I was very happy with the finale. And how it left everything between Leia and Luke and Obi-Wan. I thought it was good. Did anyone else see it? Did anyone else see the Star Wars finale? Also, the whole idea, the journey of the entire season, to me anyway, was that Obi-Wan Kenobi completely separated himself from the Force. You could see it was very difficult for him to do anything Force-related in the first few episodes, and there was a lot of effort, and there were things that, like, I would think that someone fully connected with the Force would have understood and realized. But as the series goes on, he's connecting more and more with the Force. And the first point where he like connects, I think, was episode 2, where once he realizes that Vader is alive. Once he thinks about that and focuses on it, Vader knows he's alive, that Obi-Wan's alive, and then that puts things into motion. But yeah, I very much like the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I love the fact, this is a big spoiler, so if you haven't seen it, I'll warn you. Big spoiler coming in. Okay, I think the warning sufficed. Qui-Gon Jinn showing up at the end was excellent. I love that. I love that his connection with the Force is strong enough now that that can happen. And that Qui-Gon is like, I was always there, just sort of waiting for you to connect to me. That was great. That was great. I had an insane idea that if Liam Neeson was down for it, that season 2 could be this rather unique for Star Wars, almost a buddy cop thing, where you have like Obi-Wan and the ghost of Qui-Gon, who's like trained, you know, basically teaching him, but also just being his friend and everything. I think that would be wild. I think it'd be a really neat thing to do. It would be an interesting twist too for Star Wars, and a unique reason to have a season 2. Did anyone else enjoy Obi-Wan Kenobi? What did you all think of it? I'll preface this all by saying there's none of the I don't hate any of the Star Wars movies. I don't hate any of them. My least favorite is actually The Phantom Menace, that's my least favorite, but there's nothing I hate in Star Wars as the movies go. Like, Han Solo was a cool side story in Star Wars, but I mean, that's how I see it, as a side story. To me, it didn't even make sense to be its own movie. I felt they were a little bit presumptuous there, but I liked it. I didn't hate it or anything. I did like it. I actually own a copy of it. Even episode 9 that everyone seems to hate, I liked it. I did. It is one of my least favorite Star Wars films, but I liked it. I think next week we're going to talk about Ms.Marvel episode. Would that be episode 4 then of Ms.Marvel? Whatever today's episode was, we'll talk about that. And then I think we also might talk about the new episode of Stranger Things. I'd like to do that as well. Because I love Stranger Things, especially this final half of the first season. The first half, of this 4th season has been phenomenal. And I love the big bad, the villain. All of it, I think, is really well done. So I'm very interested to see, because that comes back July 1st with the second half of season 4. So I'm only going to talk about one episode, though. I'm not going to go through all of them. All of them and Ms.Marvel. That wouldn't be too much. That wouldn't be insane at all. Well, everybody, do you have any suggestions for me? Any books you want me to review? Any books you want me to talk about? Anything like that? I'm priming the pump right now. Priming the pump. Not playing a piano. I'm priming the pump for like any questions or suggestions you might have. I can tell you right now that we'll probably end up reviewing Starhenge 1 and Batman 125. That's my goal for next week's episode. Part of me wants to do Poison Ivy. I don't know if we'll get 3 in. I don't know. Not sure. I don't know how big Starhenge is. Okay, if we don't have any suggestions, I want to thank everyone for watching, whether you watched this live with the chaos, or whether you watched it, like later on, on demand, or again, whatever it's called on YouTube. I think it's just called the YouTube experience. I would also like to thank again Doomkiller HD, as well as Doom Squad Gaming, for letting me borrow their channel very graciously. Thank you. And yeah, I will see you next week, 8 p.m. Central, or, whatever time works for you if you watch me after. Have a great one, everybody, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.